Hi, this is Steve Hodgson with Modern Asset Management. It's October 27th, 2021. And what we're doing today is having a conversation with LaDacia Roberts. And the title of our thing today is creating affordable housing in Alexandria, Louisiana. I'm on this idea of trying to do well by doing good at the same time. Those of you that know us at Modern Asset, my partner Nick is here on the call. You know that we're lenders daytime during the day, and we've got a small real estate portfolio primarily in Florida, comprised of rentals and contracts for deed and mortgages for small dollar entry-level homes. LaDacia is someone that we're in a partnership with. She's a local contractor and real estate broker in Alexandria. And she's got a mission that really feels like a mission, that you're returning what once were good houses and putting them back into good use. We participated in a meeting with the city redevelopment folks, and they're committed to. They've got a fair amount of federal money, and they're putting it into bringing new and improved properties back online, getting properties off of the city ownership roles and back into productive use by having folks move in. There's a very active Section 8 program there, along with a lot of other resources that are trying to help people get into better housing. So the challenge here is, can you make an above average return on your money and help people at the same time? Generally, the world gets divided into missionaries or mercenaries, and we're trying to be in the middle. We're trying to be good business people and leave a legacy, or at least leave a product that helps more than most would. So we're going to find out. The usual disclaimer: this is not a solicitation in any way. This is educational material. Please consult an attorney, and your CPA, on and on and on. So let's see. I'm going to bounce to. You want to start, Nick? Choose. Do you want to start with numbers or pictures?
How about pictures?
You like pictures? All right, we'll go to pictures. So, and here comes Cheryl. All right, so I love this picture of LaDacia. Apparent thinking there's a paint roller in your hand.
Pretty much, yeah.
pretty much. But this I'm at an age, and we're in a different location, that we don't do anything, right? So we need doers, and this is very clearly, you're a doer. So this is why we're a match. Oh, that's a project we're going to talk about in a sec. I'm going to scroll up here. What have I got?
That's Daspit.
I got ugly Daspit.
Yes.
Those of you that have watched some of my other videos will have seen several over the years where I've talked about Daspit. Daspit was singularly the worst mortgage I ever bought. We, in the effort to take control of the property, we encountered 2 hurricanes and COVID, which delayed getting work done. And by the time we got the property back, when I bought the note, the property was livable and available for and on the market to sell. In the subsequent 4 years, well, here's Daspit. Is this the room you tore down?
Yes, that is the room we tore down. It had quite a bit of water damage here. And it was poorly constructed anyway. I mean, it had to come down.
So this was the owner occupant had built taken the carport and turned it into a 4th bedroom, right?
Yes. And I think they kind of utilized it also as like a den type area. It was pretty big.
Okay.
But I mean, then even going through that, the door on the left led into another tool room. So he just had rooms upon rooms that he had built right there.
Okay.
And it was really bad.
So you tore this down and returned it to its original state of a 2-car carport?
Right. Yes, we tore it down, and right now it's just the concrete pad, which I plan on putting a little patio type thing in the back. That's what we're going to do with it. It just makes more sense.
So, rolling into the front door of the house here, I'm emotionally attached to this new white door because it locks. The squatters that kept breaking in through the old door can't get through this door.
No. And as you can see right there, there's still quite a bit of soot that was on the floors, but we're taking care of that. But don't get too comfortable, Steve, with the white door. It's going to be gray.
Oh, well, okay, but it's still going to be sturdy and have a double lock.
Yes. And they can't get in. This is now where the car, that part, that den in the back living area, this is what this looks like now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's getting cleaned up. This is not this house, right?
Yeah, that's the house. I painted it ivory color.
Okay.
Ivory and gray trim. That was the first coat. And we, of course, we're going to take care of the windows and the glass, whatever. But yeah, I painted the whole house, exterior.
As soon as we locked and boarded up one window, they broke through another one, and so. And it's a cute little house and a nice big lot.
Yes.
Yeah, in a middle class part of Alexandria.
Because even without the bedroom that we tore down, it's still a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2 full baths.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even know that.
Yep.
I'm going to turn off the dinging of new people coming in.
Yeah, this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It still has a little room that's a sitting room. You have the inside laundry room, an office. You have a separate office. You have the little dining room. The house is a really great property. It really is. And once it gets back to the functional state, it's going to be nice.
What do you think the rent will be?
It's going to be about $900 a month.
Okay. And
now, if I go to Homeless Coalition or if I go with Volunteers of America, I would ask for $1,000 a month.
Okay. And if you were to treat it as a fix and flip, what do you think it would go for at that point?
Well, the comps show that house, once it's back to a functional state and everything is, corrected, I would say 110, 110, 114, because I have the comps that show that there's a house that just sold within the last 6 months for 114. So given the amount of bedrooms I have and the square footage, 110, 114, I can get that.
So if you were going to get $1,000 a month rent for a house that's worth $100,000, that's a 12% gross rent multiplier, return on investment. So we were talking a little bit at the beginning. If you get 5% on a rental in California, you're lucky. So, is the bathroom getting changed?
Yeah, there's a picture I sent you with a really ugly tub.
Yeah, we
Well-
might get, I think that might be in the ones I've got here. Yeah. And so,
We cleaned it really good, but it's gonna get painted and all.
so there's my door. This, one of the things, this is a little out of order. I'll come back up here, more than a little out of order. So new rock. This is below here. This is another potential project that we might be starting on. So there's a fair amount of, actually a large amount of inventory in distress in Alexandria. There are lots of long delinquent homes. This home here is 8 years behind on payments, something like that,
Yes,
right? So the bank may be motivated, but it's going to go to foreclosure, and it certainly won't sell for the 110,000 that Daspit will, but it could after doing the same kind of treatment, or be another rental. There she is at work today. There's more of those pictures. There's the bathtub. That's what I was looking
there's the bathtub.
at, right? This is what we started with, right? When I bought the note 4 years ago, these were the realtor pictures. It was up for sale, and it was okay. You know, it was together. It was together. This is your work in progress. I got double
Yeah.
pictures. Oh, I got lots of double pictures.
Yeah, you,
All right. Okay, I'm going to go up here and talk about us here, distant investors, often can't tell the difference between one house and another. It needs to do this kind of work and try to safely make good investments. You need somebody experienced on the ground who's tied into the project. When you buy mortgage notes on the tertiary market, you get something called a broker price opinion, which could simply be a desktop appraisal. Some local agents getting $100 to pull up the address, look at comps, slam a number on it, and mail it out.
right.
And in that way, I can't tell the difference between this house and Daspit. Right? It
Yes.
just they look the same. There we go. Look at price per square foot. We say $25 a foot, sold. And I've seen instances where houses have been torn down by the city before the transaction can get closed because the house had been red tagged and the buyer didn't know. And so that's fun. It's part of the issues of being, 2,500 miles away from your investment. Right? So there's lots of folks that do what we do that go out and preach. You never have to see your property. You never have to lift a finger. All you do is, make an investment and wait for the checks to come in. I've been doing this for a little bit. That we work a lot to get these things to the end. Here's another one where you couldn't tell. And these were two properties you sent me pictures of that were in neighborhoods you wouldn't want to work in, and houses that were so far gone you wouldn't even try. Right.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So, all right. But here we are. I can't tell the difference from a distance between here and here. And if I can't, then Wells Fargo can't either. And so maybe they'll take a low ball price on this in an auction. So, but there will be a metered, titrated flood of foreclosures coming into Alexandria. This will be a short sellers. If you've done short sales, this will be a short sales. Just the whatever offers you get will get taken. So,
Wow.
the banks have federal backing to stop loss backing to clear this old inventory. So the people that run the country know that these houses need to be put back into service. that meeting that we were on with the home folks from Washington. We were sat in this meeting where it was about new construction, and the federal government would like them to build $200,000 houses, and they want them built so badly that the federal government will pay for half the house. So you can spend $200,000 to build a house, sell it for $100,000, and the federal government will backfill. So I think there's a play in the $70,000, $60,000, $80,000 world for entry-level house for people making, $30,000, $40,000 a year. So anyway, so that's so I have my repeated daspit pictures. I'm going to stop that. So I see I got some folks on. Hi Jasmine, hi Cheryl. Cheryl's physically not very far from where I live, but I never see her because I never go to those meetups anymore. And Eric from Pensacola is with us. So it's our little and Jasmine, hi. So it's our little nucleus of folks.
Hello.
Hi. So
Woohoo!
So I said a little earlier, Eric knows this spreadsheet. Let's go to, we'll start here. Can you see the page that starts with purchase costs?
Yes.
Make that a little bigger for folks. So this purchase was kind of convoluted. In order for us to take the property back, we had to sue all the heirs in an estate where they had lied to the succession court and said there was no mortgage on the property. We seized 4 properties to try to satisfy the debt that was owed. It was about $75,000. And then marketed all 4 properties as a bundle. And LaDacia came in and bought them. So this house, out of the total purchase, I'm going to peg the value at sale of about $45,000. And we talked just a minute ago that that the exit is something a little north of 100,000 if you were to sell it, right?
Right.
And so we're all in for 46,000. I picked your numbers off of another page and estimated about 16,000 in rehab plus some of this and that and the other. You've got $5,000 in holding costs over a 6-month period, maybe. Maybe these numbers are all just to have some talking. If you were all in at 63,000 and you were to sell this house after a 6-month hold for 90,000, then after fees, we were at 88,000. There would be a profit of basically $25,000. So for an annualized ROI of 43%. That's not bad, but a $24,000 profit versus $1,000 a month rent payer for eternity. We can get out the calculator and figure out which is a better deal, right? And it all depends on, everything always depends, on where you are and what you need, and if you've got the ability to manage that house. And you're our partner in this deal because we believe you do have the ability to manage this property. We sure can't. You talked about sources of tenants. The Homeless Coalition and another organization, and
Volunteers of America.
and they're this a robust working path in your town? Is this one of the ways that there's a steady flow of tenants?
Well, yes, because quite a few of the way I found out is from other landlords that go this route. instead of going just the regular, finding tenants or just putting people in the house. Most of my people, co-parts or whatever that I talk to, they're the ones that go this route with Volunteers of America or Homeless Coalition, and even the Housing Authority. They rather go this way because they feel more confident in getting payments, and they're paying more.
Mhm.
And then there's such a shortage of decent housing. The Housing Authority, they're going to go through and do inspections and make sure you have decent housing, and because they're going to pay you. So they have quite a bit of tenants, a list of tenants needing housing.
Okay. So is there a wait list?
Housing Authority has a wait list as far as trying to get more tenants, because they only have a certain number of houses right now.
Mhm.
And it's a certain number of funds too, that they can, vouchers that they're going to issue. Now, the Homeless Coalition, they have something called rapid housing. If you can just go to them and tell them that you have a house, they'll come out and look at it. Within a week or two, you're funded. They don't really, but the only thing with them, they don't do inspections. You have to do your own, which is fine, but I just really prefer Housing Authority or Volunteers of America.
So this house got destroyed when it was vacant and it became a drug house.
Yeah.
People were burning the stuff on the floor to stay warm. It was sad. How do you prevent having somebody like that wind up moving in through this program?
Well, that's just going to be a tricky thing there. I mean, just because the Housing Authority or Volunteers of America may do inspections, I still have to do my own. I still have to do my own inspections. Just with them going in, it's just a plus. It's sort of like a plus having them do theirs too. I do background checks. I do credit checks.
Okay.
I do all of those things. And I try not to be biased, but if you have a 420 credit score or something like that, it's kind of, and I know I'm working with the Homeless Coalition and all of those, but I still have to, this is, these properties are not just something that I'm doing to get money. I really believe that I'm putting in a lot of work in these houses to bring them up to livable conditions and really nice quality. I don't want to just put something out there and be a slumlord. Anybody can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So if I look at your credit and I see that you don't care about that, then 9 times out of 10, you're not going to care about the house. So, I've denied one. I denied one lady from the Homeless Coalition. She just, she had battery charges and stuff like that, assault and battery, and I just can't put her in.
Mm-hmm.
But they have quite a bit of clientele, so
Okay.
I pick who I want.
So that's the other question of those of us that are distant is the first job of the tenant is to take care of the property.
Mm-hmm.
Paying the rent is second, and our experience has been that oftentimes not. We had a nice little house that when we turned it over with people that were on the curb were just as nice and sweet as you could be, and when we got inside there was $8,000 worth of damage in a little 800 square foot house.
Mm-hmm.
It was the dining room table was gone and they were using it as a trash area, and it was and they had kids. It was just so sad. We So the thing I'm always looking for is exactly that. Will they take care of the property first? So let's elaborate a little bit more on your why. Why are you doing this? No, aren't there easier things to do?
There are, but this is, I mean, it's so like here in Alexandria, you normally have to find a decent property. When I say decent, I mean a home that's clean, fresh, fresh paint. And, to find that, you have to go way across town. Now, I'm from here and I've lived here pretty much my whole life. And so I had an elderly, not my mother wasn't elderly, but she was sickly. And I would have to, I mean, if she's living down the street, okay, when I moved back, I was living in Lafayette, Louisiana. When I moved back, I couldn't find a decent property at all. So I'm living way across the town trying to, because I want something nice, I want something nice to live in, but I had to go way across the town. When she's sick, I have to run way, from across the town just to get to her. That shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. That shouldn't be. So I want quality properties right in the areas that, some people may not want to live in, but there's still people that do want to live in this area, but they want something nice and quality work.
Good. I didn't save that picture. We'll talk about adjudicated properties in a minute. I want to see what, well, that's the how do you do this? Let me see what else that I had that I saved. I showed you the pictures. You don't need to do a calculator.
And just to say too about back on when you said, I mean, it's to make sure that the people that I'm looking for, when you go through the Homeless Coalition, you go through Volunteers of America or the Housing Authority, that's sort of like guaranteed money. They're going to, as long as those tenants are abiding, they're going to pay it. The Homeless Coalition, they pay the whole thing, where it could be $700 a month or $800, whatever. You're gonna get that check every month. But why would I want to receive that when the tenant is going to go and tear up the house and all that money that I'm receiving, I'm gonna have to put back in, right. So that's why you just have to be very careful. You have to check everything. I even check where they lived before. They might not give me the right addresses, but I do have a system where I can go and put in their name, or I can put in their name or their telephone number. Just by their telephone number, for when I can put in their information, and it's going to give me all the addresses of where they've previously lived or the addresses they've used. And I'm going to look and see, how those properties look. And that tells me a lot. It just tells me a lot if you kept it up or if there's trash everywhere. I can tell how you treated those properties, pretty much how you're going to treat the ones we have.
Yeah, I was taught that you do the signing of the new lease in the tenant's current house.
Wow.
So that way, you know how they're living. Yes. Right. And so mm-hmm. you do it at their kitchen table. So I sold you Daspit and Brown and Harris and Hartner.
Yes.
My goodness, why really 4? Okay.
4.
Right? And then we started looking at, you showed me a map in an email where we started talking about adjudicated properties.
Yes.
And an adjudicated property, there's different terminology for these things in different places. An adjudicated property is now a piece of land owned by the city. And the city doesn't want to be a landlord, and the city doesn't want to be a property owner. The city wants to be the receiver of taxes. And you looked at, was it the Harris property that you looked around, or Brown that you said?
I looked around.
Yeah.
I looked around both. I actually looked around both. Now Harris, that's the one that I've already started. The property that you sold to me, I have the property next to the right and to the left, both properties were adjudicated with the city. They're adjudicated. So the one on the right, I should own that one in the next month. Next month, it should be completed. I had to do an appraisal and, you know, title work, different things like that through the city. And then the one on the right, I think the left or the right, I just started on that one. It's also adjudicated. So I just started the process of purchasing that one as well. But the whole little block, pretty much, people have defaulted on paying their taxes. So it's available. The land is available.
And we've started doing some, we started to learn the tax deed world a little bit, and we're interested in expanding more there. And so the worry from a distance is, oh no, it's a house in a slum, it's in a bad neighborhood, all that sort of stuff. But in this process, it seems that you get to make a new neighborhood, right? So and it seems like it feeds on itself. One nice house in a bad block needs guard dogs. 3 houses on a block is suddenly a new neighborhood, right? Is that the idea?
Yeah, because what you made me realize is once we tore the house down with the one that you sold to me, I'm going to tear the house down, the land that's next door. I'm going to tear that one down. But what you made me realize is once those lots have cleared and you can put a mobile home on it, and fix them up and have them really nice, that's so much opportunity for somebody to still have really nice living quarters, the whole block is available. And if we just fix it up and clear it, there's a church right across the street, there's a school on the other corner, it's all just adjacent to this land. It could be just so nice. It's going to be nice. It's going to be really nice for some people. So that's about 3 or 4 families right there.
Right. So how did it come to be that these houses were being demolished? What happened to Alexandria that made this happen?
There's no jobs. Okay. It's just like the entire economy, the whole little city just went down. And they're always promising, politicians, always promising they're going to do this, they're going to do that, but nothing is happening. There's nothing, they have those home programs, but you still, it's not helping. You're wanting to build $150,000 properties or homes, but there's no jobs. Who's going to be able to afford that?
And the jobs that are there, well, I think I have a little page about, I went and looked up city data, see if I can find where I left that. Oh, I have to go fix that. Let's see. I went to a website called City Data, which is a summary of, let's see. Let me share this. So I had in my head a worse view than it is. Whoops. So in this map of Alexandria, it seems that the money went to this part of town, right?
That's exactly where it's at.
That this part of town is in dire straits, right? And up here is where the suburbs happened and people scooted out up there.
Right.
And left all of this with no retail, no restaurants, no, just left town.
Right, it's pretty dead.
Yeah. So where are we talking about here? We're in here?
We're closer to Samtown area at the bottom there, the bottom right. That's where we are, and with this Alexandria Junction, we're pretty much right here. Yeah, in that area, south.
So that appealed to me because if this is really heavy lifting to try to get some value here, down here, I'm getting closer to where house values went up.
Yeah.
So the Daspit, when I bought that note, was on the market for $80,000. You went a couple blocks this way, house prices dropped in half. This was Daspit it was just in this weird little pocket. And then, like I said, again, when the squatter family member wouldn't get out, it just went to heck.
Yeah.
So we're here. Let me go back to. Let me go back a page. So median income is $46,000, and it's now gone up a little bit. So household income of 46,000, individual income 30,000. So you've got people in average a $15 an hour job.
Right.
That's not enough to buy that $150,000 home house, right? No matter how much assistance they get.
Right.
But they can buy a $70,000 mobile home on land, right?
Right.
That's reachable, right? And so what I think I'm looking for here is to try to meet people where they are, right? And who are they are right now? They're government-backed rent payments, and some of those people are gonna go off of those and be able to buy a house. And if you price a house, a mobile home for what a 2-bedroom apartment costs, that's a heck of a deal. So if your mortgage payment is $600 a month, that's achievable, right? And
the clientele is really there. I have people calling me all the time, looking for housing.
Yeah.
But it's the amount that they can't afford.
Right. And so there's a hole that I think we're trying to fill. There's a gap between well, again, $15 an hour. So you're looking for somebody who makes 20, they can afford them. Okay. And everything you look at in these areas, the people that do okay when they get to my age are the people that had a home that they were paying a mortgage down for 30 years, right? Instead of throwing money away on rent. So poverty rate for this town is 25%. I've had investments in worse places than that. But this is, like you said, the city's talks about it, but it's such an intractable problem, they can't fix it. Like I said, it comes down to jobs.
Yes,
right?
We need them.
Yeah, but until then, the best tenant is a governmental payment.
Right.
Is a voucher, is homeless coalition. It's so how long from when you got really going on Daspit do you think you are from start to finish? How long does it sit just costing you money?
Daspit started last week. So right now I'm actually at a standstill because the city came out, they passed my electrical, but I have some other things that I need to do before I can get temporary power. So I'm at a point where having to build a temporary pole. And the electrician, he'll have that up tomorrow. It rained today, so he'll have it up tomorrow. But we've been sitting for like 2 days because we can't go any further without power. So that's where I am right now, but it's not gonna, my projection is 60 days.
So a tenant in at the outside, February 1.
January 1.
January. Right.
Yeah, because the house really wasn't all that bad. I mean, there's some issues, but for the majority of it, that unlivable little area we've torn down, and now it's just time to get it. And I mean, even the wiring is still intact. It's still intact. I have the interior AC unit is there. You know, they stole the one outside, but the HVAC guy has been out. He's like, all you need is a outside unit. We're gonna do a few little changes and you should be good. So it's not gonna take long. It's just, we gotta get in there and get to work.
You're running 2 crews now?
Yeah, I have 2.
Okay. So you have capacity to start a project every month?
I can. I can do that. Probably every other month would be better.
Okay.
You know, because I like to really have my eyes on everything. You know, every other month for me, just being realistic, every other month for me would be better. That way I can be halfway complete on something before I start something else.
Okay. So that says that you'd be interested in partnership for 6 houses next year.
Right.
Right. And that's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, if you added 1 house a year in 5 years, you've changed your life. You know,
Right.
So if you could, you know, you do more than that, then, you know, that's just marvelous. You know, everybody on this call has lots of experience being a landlord. You know, and like, we're on this call because we have lots of experience being a landlord. I want to open up for feedback, questions, anything that caught your eye that you've got some more view on, prior experience. Jump in. So.
I'm impressed with how she's getting after it so quickly.
Thank you.
That is awesome to get started the way you are and already have a couple crews going and having people there. I love when you said you've got a big delay and it's only 2 days. There's times when we sit for weeks, so you have a great attitude. You are going to kick this in the butt.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Look, I learned something from Steve, and he may not realize it, but every time he sends me something, I'm really looking at it, I'm reading it. But he said, okay, on to the next obstacle. So now I just look at it as, okay, it's an obstacle. We'll get over it. And I just keep moving.
Well, you just keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, your attitude is great, and you're going to keep running into problems, but with your attitude, you'll get through it. And you got the city. I mean, the city is going to be coming to you with all these lots because they see you as a problem solver in an area where they've got a huge problem. So you got something really cool going on. And I love that you're talking about the church and the school right there. Everybody's going to want to be in that area. And as that starts to grow, you will raise the values. Many years ago in Pensacola, I started doing some fix and flips in a really not a wonderful part of town. And after about a year of it, somebody said, this realtor that I was using, man, the values here seem to be going up. I said, well, look at these 20 different houses we've done. That's what's driving their values up. And it was just literally just a couple of us doing things. You're going to do the exact same thing there. So you go, girl, go.
Thank you.
You know, and well, and I guess what did I do? I went and doubled down, right? And you know, I sold you DASPIT, and then to get you construction funding, I bought half a DASPIT back.
Yes.
You know, so and this was a property that was an albatross around my neck for 4 years. It was if you want to watch my partner roll his eyes, just say DASPIT. So
That definitely helped me, you know, do the work that I want to do to it, versus what happened with Brown, where I ran out quick trying to get that house the way I liked it, but it worked out. But this really helped me with DASPIT, doing everything that I want to do to it so it can be, you know, top notch.
and there's some folks will do 4 projects and keep the best one. You know, they'll turn lower value property just to generate cash and keep the ones that they want to keep forever. And there's some folks that we try to hang out with when they do conferences that preach that. And these are, you know, guys in their 80s, people in their 80s that said, well, yeah, I own the first house I bought 40 years ago, and 25 more since. You know, so, and so that's the path that you know, that we're on. But I'm a LaDacia fan, and and now you've met Eric, and Eric can be
Yes.
Eric can be a resource for you too. He's his hands are dirty at the end of every day. You know, so he's, you know, so he's there. Any comments from Cheryl or Nick?
I was not getting dirty this afternoon using the skid steer clearing 50th, sir.
50,
The neighbors love us over there, by the way.
Excellent. See if they're for sale too. So 50th is a lot in Pensacola that we got at the tax deed, zone mid-density, and I've got this duplex thing in my head. And Eric's got a duplex plan called the Lolly, and the Lolly is his dog. So that's Lolly houses is what he wants to build. So
That's cute.
we may, you know, so we all name things for our own reasons, right? And so we're gonna try to make half a dozen Lolly houses in Pensacola over the next year or two. So because they're cheaper to build with a common wall, right? Yeah. So,
Right.
yeah, so,
Well,
Cheryl,
I think
you're
this is a
muted.
great
Hi.
idea. Yeah, hi. Let me do my video. Oops, off on. Now, this is a great idea of finding someone in an area where you already had the note to make the house work. You know, that's perfect.
Thanks. Yeah, this is
Yeah, great idea.
we both got lucky. So,
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like, yeah, it's working out great.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and I like the idea of buying more houses next to each other and building up the neighborhood instead of waiting for the neighborhood to improve. You just keep buying houses and make it improve yourself.
Right. Yes, that's the goal.
yeah. So,
Make it nice again.
and I bought a house in that neighborhood that Eric had done all that work, and Eric put it back together. It was not one of his houses, but it was one of the other, you know, one of the other houses that had been run down, and we put that back together. Sold it on a note to I think the guy's an electrician, and I've been getting a payment every month for 5 years now. Yeah, and it's
Nice.
exactly the same model. So, and you can do these investments. You can't do it in California because you need $500,000 to start. You know, for one tenth of that, you can complete a project. You know, the whole thing, start to finish.
Yeah.
In much less time than it takes to do things here because the city's motivated to get stuff done.
Are there plans to, for any, jobs to go in there at all? I mean, where do you look to find if they're looking at bringing jobs, or big companies, not necessarily the cities talking about it, because, you know what I mean? How do you find if there's companies, Walmart or, some of the even smaller ones, smaller businesses looking to get jobs in the area? It seems like that might be a concerned area, Ladasha, you were mentioning that.
Yeah,
Where
there,
do you
I see, quite a few restaurants coming up. I haven't heard of any major plants coming up. They're more down south than anything, Lafayette area, stuff like that. But there's a lot of little restaurants like Whataburgers and places like that that are coming up. Now, is that going to offer good money? I doubt it, but
Mhm.
who knows? There, we got several Walmarts and stuff like that, but we need plants and things like that are gonna really offer some benefits and a good wages for people. We used to have that. We used to have Dresser and places like that, but
Yeah.
it's gonna take a bit.
Mhm. Eric just sent this over.
Nice.
That's the lolly. Yeah.
Nice, really nice.
Yeah, that cute. Somewhere in Florida, it cost in Florida to build it, about $100 a foot. So we would have to figure out how to make that fit in the Alexandria box. And
Yes.
simply, this might be something that the city would be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So you can build a duplex. That gets you closer. That gets somebody into a $75,000, $80,000 house, right?
Yeah.
So
So this is a duplex?
Mhm. Mhm. There's a center look through kind of thing, and then there's two doors. You can see where the stairs are. Two doors left and right.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're long. So I think about them as like shotgun houses or like a mobile home where it's 24 feet wide and 70 feet long.
Okay.
So these are basically two 1,300 square foot houses put together.
I like that.
Yeah. So, but yes, and that's why he sent me the picture. He loves this house. so we're gonna go build some of these. But, all right. So we've come up on our hour. I want to thank our little posse for being here. We'll post this up on YouTube and send it out to the other 700 members of the meetup group. And it'll go up and people will see it. My information was back for contact back on the first screen, which I don't have access to here anymore. But if you found us on the internet, you know how to find me. And we said we're not soliciting anybody to dive in and write a check, but just showing you that there's opportunity in other places outside of California where you can hopefully do well and do good at the same time. All right, so I'll talk to you all soon.
Great, thank you.
All right, thanks everybody.
Thanks, bye.
Good night.